This is a 40-year-old LeBron James.
To the cutting James. With the left hand, and he makes...
Unreal poster from a man in his 22nd season still playing professional basketball at the highest level. It's honestly amazing what he can still do. However, LeBron isn't dunking like this every night. Not like he used to, at least. See, back in my day, GOAT James was jumping out of the gym every other possession. Whether we're talking 07 Cavs Bron, Miami Heat Bron, 2018 Bron, hell, even LEBRON. There are many different versions you could go with when deciding to make a LeBron James build. But no, you know what? Give me 40-year-old Bron, who is still one of the most unstoppable finishers at the rim. Not because he's posterizing everybody, but because he's added a little bit of finesse to his game throughout the years, along with the fact that he's still a 250-pound freight train that'll bounce a full-grown man off him like it's nothing. Watch LeBron today and you'll see that a majority of his buckets are layups, taking advantage of his size and strength and often finishing through contact. That's how he keeps adding to his points total of 41,000 and counting. All-time leading scorer for a reason. That's what I got for you today with this finesse finisher LeBron James build. We're going to have legend physical finisher on a 6'8 with 96 driving layup, so we can get a sense for how unstoppable LeBron must feel when he's going downhill. Oh, it's fun. Let me show you what I got. So it's currently season 4, and most of you are like me, with 5 cap breakers from hitting starter 3, and maybe a couple extra ones from season rewards. After I hit level 40 this season, I'll have a total of 8 cap breakers, so that's what I'm aiming for with this build. 6'8", 232, max wingspan. This will make it even easier to finish at the rim, because not only are we going to overpower our defender, we're also going to have freakishly long arms to finish over or around them. And it's also obviously going to help a ton on defense. Now, let's talk about the whole point of this build. 96 driving layup for Hall of Fame physical finisher. We use our tier 1 max plus 1 to bring it up to legend, so we don't have to invest all those attributes into a 97 strength, which is very costly. Now, before I show you highlights of what you can do with this, let me show you why I wanted to try this out in the first place. Another plug for Kevin Cruz, link to his video in the description. To summarize, he discovered a method of taking layups that truly maximizes the effectiveness of this badge. You pretty much just pull up on the stick and the game is going to choose the best animation for you to avoid defenders and finish at the rim. Check out his video if you want a more in-depth explanation. All I'm going to say is, it's so easy, man. In all these clips, that's all I'm trying to do. You just got to pick up enough speed and momentum. Then as you're crossing the 3-point line, let go of the right trigger and pull straight up on your right stick. Yeah, the 3-point line. Your player will take it from there. I'm not even doing some of these crossovers. I'm literally just holding the stick up as LeBron figures it out and bulldozes his way to the basket for easy points. With Legend Physical Finisher, it's completely unguardable in a 1v1 scenario. Sometimes there's more contact on the finish, and sometimes he'll just float above the defense just like LeBron. Speaking of, I am using his layup package, and this seems to be the best way to get some of his most overpowered animations. I'm also using normal risk layup timing, but honestly I should be using high risk with our rating being so high. That way, even if they play good defense, we can still green through tight coverages. But in some of these clips, I only have Hall of Fame physical finisher, and you can see that it's still very effective. We're 6'8", max wingspan with great physicals and a 96 driving layup. And each season at level 30, it gets better with our max plus 1 for legend physical finisher. So good luck stopping that. Of course, we're going to use 5 cap breakers here, so bring that back to a 91, and now we got a lot more to work with as we balance the build out. Now, most of our damage will be done with layups, but we all saw that first clip. LeBron can most definitely still posterize at 40 years old. So we're going to bring our dunk rating to an 85, then use 2 additional cap breakers to get it up to 87 for silver posterizer and pro contact dunks off 2. Meter dunks are always fun, but I was mostly trying to test out the limits of the high layup on this build, so a lot of times I went for Euros and got thrown into a dunk animation. Even better. This is a great weapon to have as a rim attacker. We also get LeBron's dunk package, and with Gold Aerial Wizard, we can easily catch lobs. This is a tier 2 badge, so if you want, you can max plus 1 it to Hoff, but I prefer a different badge that I'll talk about later. Now, if this was a different LeBron build, I'd prefer to get at least a 93 dunk for gold posterizer and more contact dunks. But this is current day season 22 LeBron James. He's going to slow down eventually, right? 87 dunk is enough for me. On to the shooting. We're going to go with a 75 3-point, but we get some solid badges at 85 mid-range for silver set shot and deadeye. These ratings are high enough to get the jump shot I wanted, and with rhythm shooting, we're splashing no problem. With a build like this, You just gotta be able to at least spread the floor and hit open shots, which we can do. The wingspan is still crazy. We're getting the ball way up there, so I can confidently pull it when the closeout's late. I'm happy with the shooting we got in this build, while still keeping that max wingspan and being an unstoppable finisher at the rim. Normally this is something you'd have to sacrifice, but thanks to cap breakers, I'm still able to get a solid enough threshold at 85, and I don't feel like a liability for my teammates when spotting up. As always, I'll be sharing the jump shot along with the rest of my animations at the end of the video. Now, it's not a LeBron build if you can't pass the rock, so we're going to go with an 85 pass act for Gold Dimer, which is another tier 2 badge that you can max plus 1.5 if you want. For a small forward, this is pretty high, and I definitely don't feel limited at this rating. I can distribute the ball, get my teammates involved, and I even zipped some passes across the court that surprised me. In reality though, LeBron would have a much higher pass act, but I just couldn't make it happen while keeping the build balanced. However, since we're going downhill most of the time, 85 is important because you're going to want Bron's bailout. We're such a huge threat attacking the basket, bigs are going to slide over to help, and as great as this build is at finishing near the rim, you just can't go through multiple defenders, especially when they have good block ratings. So you're going to want Bron's bailout so you can at least have the ability to get out of these situations. Moving on, 75 speed with ball for Silver Lightning Launch, and 84 ball handle for some solid dribbling animations. And we get Hall of Fame Strong Handle, which is a badge I love. But with our 8th and final cap breaker, we're going to put it on ball handle to get an 85, and this is just for the mixtape takeover. If you weren't aware, Blur is one of the strongest takeover abilities in the game. When active, it makes you almost impossible to guard, and having on a 6'8 is crazy. It just makes sense for this build, and will result in you being even more unstoppable. But until then, I'm using Slice, which is another one of my favorite takeovers because at level 5, we'll be flying all over the court with 92 speed and 87 agility. Either way, you get great options for takeovers on this build. Onto the defense, we're keeping the interior at 64, going with a 74 perimeter for bronze and silver badges, 60 steal for bronze interceptor, and 80 block for silver high flying denier and bronze pogo stick. Now, thankfully LeBron spends $1 million on his body every year to stay in great shape, so even at 40 years old, we have great physicals with a crazy 6'8 frame and max wingspan. That's what carries us on the defensive end. The shorter your build, the more important those defensive badges are, but with stick skill and LeBron's body, you'll be just fine at lower defensive ratings. And when you combine that 80 block with our max wingspan, we can recreate some iconic moments like, we're obviously not the team's lockdown defender, but we're capable of making an impact and your presence will still be felt. These incredible physicals are a very important part to this build. We're just about maxing speed and agility at 85 and 80, which gets you gold slippery off ball, and this is where I prefer to use my tier 2 max plus 1. The difference between gold and Hoff is huge, and having that on a 6'8 LeBron build just makes you a terror to guard on cuts. 84 strength gets the badges you see here, most importantly Hall of Fame physical finisher and strong handle, and then a 75 vert for the dunk animations. I'm going to bring up the offensive rebound to a 70 for silver box out beast and throw the rest on free throw. So here's the final build. For future cap breakers, I'd probably throw them on pass act and eventually try to get an 89 for silver visionary and Halliburton pass style. But as it stands with 8 cap breakers, it's a unique build for sure. It's so tough to stop, and honestly, after playing with it for a bit, the only thing I would say you gotta watch out for is to not put your head down and force contact layups every time you touch the ball. You still gotta play smart and know that the defense is gonna send help. But if your defender is on an island, it's basically a guaranteed bucket. So have fun with it if you decide to make it, and let me know down in the comments if there's anything you'd change. We get shades of Latrell Sprewell, Koulibaly, and Jimmy Butler, and we are an inside the arc shot creator. But the name I prefer is what you get after putting those cap breakers on layup, and that is a finesse finisher. Pretty cool name that I don't see too often. Gonna jump in here real quick to give y'all a slightly different version to consider. If you really want that 89 driving dunk for pro contacts off 1, you can make some slight tweaks to get it. First, drop ball handle to 81. You're going to lose some dribbling animations along with the potential for that mixtape takeover, but you can still get the job done at 81. Just make sure to check to see if you're okay with those animations, and then you could just stick with Slice for the takeover. This will open up the possibility of using 2 cap breakers on your dunk to get you that 89 for pro contacts off 1. But you also need a 78 vertical to unlock them, so go down to your physicals and drop the speed a couple points so you can get that vert. Now you're going to lose gold slippery off ball, but I do think that pro contacts off 1 are much better than contacts off 2, and you could still throw future cap breakers here to get it eventually. So I'd say that this version of the build is more suited for 7 cap breakers, or 9 if you wanted that 85 speed, or even 13 cap breakers if you hit vet 2, because you could throw +4 on ball handle on top of that to get everything I've been talking about. Lots of room for leveling it up as you grind rep rewards and season levels throughout the year. So this version gets the same shades, but instead of Jimmy Butler, we're going to get Jaylen Brown. Still inside the arc shot creator, and I couldn't tell you if we're going to get finesse finisher with the cap breakers because I haven't made this version. All the clips you saw were with the first version, but they're so similar I'd be surprised if you don't get finesse finisher for this one too. Either way, we're an unstoppable slasher, so let me know which version you guys like, the first or the second. Here's the animations I use in the jump shot. Go ahead and pause the video if you want to try out some of the things I'm rocking with. Now when you're playing threes with this build and you have all that space, then it's really fun because you can just spam contact layups and not worry as much about help defense. I think it shines a bit better here, but if you play smart, you can still bring it out in rec and pick apart a 5-man defense like LeBron. It just takes some more skill and basketball IQ. Now if you're playing with randoms, the point guard might not let you get many touches, and even stop passing to you entirely if you make one mistake. But that's why we created a Discord community with an emphasis on non-toxic hoops. We currently have over 200 members, and it's growing rapidly for a reason. If you played random rec, you know the struggle. So if you're looking for squad mates, feel free to join. Link is in the description. We also talk about builds every day, so if you like this stuff, you make a great fit. I'm also giving one-on-one build advice through a channel we just launched on the server, so if you'd like my personal opinion, I can help you optimize any build you're working on. Just join the Discord, submit a ticket, send a screenshot of what you got, and I can give you my thoughts. Check out some of my other builds if you haven't. That's going to do it for current day 40-year-old LeBron James in NBA 2K25. I'd be surprised if you find another build like this because most people want prime, jump out of the gym LeBron James. But I love to experiment with really committing to certain playstyles or badges like physical finisher while still making a balanced build that's good enough to pull out in 5s. Obviously, you can't get everything LeBron is capable of in a build, even when he's past his prime, but I try my best with this one, so hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to drop a like and subscribe for more content. Thanks for taking the time, and I'll see y'all in the Discord.